Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is Medieval Kingdoms Total War 1212 AD. This is a modification for Rome 2 Total War, and it is currently in production. This version of the mod that has been released only has custom battles. I assume that they intend eventually to have a full campaign, although the developers have said that they are waiting for the release of Attila Total War in the next month in order to create some upgrades, because they want to utilize the new features found in that update. This is not a series, per se. This is just me messing around, because, as you know, if you follow my channel at all, I love the Byzantines, and this mod has a faction that is the Roman Empire of Nicaea, which you will be familiar with if you watched my Let's Play for Mount and Blade Warband Anno 1257. The situation in this mod is relatively the same. This is after Constantinople has been conquered by the Latins and the Venetians, and so the former Byzantine Empire, or of course Roman Empire as they call themselves, has been split into three factions. You've got the Roman Empire of Nicaea, you've got the Empire of Trebizond, and you've got Epirus. Now, Epirus, from what I understand, is not going to be in this mod. They actually are going to have Nicaea, they're going to have Trebizond, and the third quote-unquote Byzantine faction they're going to have is the Georgians. I kind of disagree with that, but, you know, it does let a different group shine when probably the units of Epirus would be pretty similar to the units of Nicaea and Trebizond. But right now, in this version of the mod, there is only Nicaea. And again, you can only do custom battles. So I thought I'd mess around with that a little bit because, you know me, I just love me some Byzantines. So let's take a look. I've already set up a squad for this custom battle, and let me tell you what it's about. I'm leading my troops with a Spatharioi Emperor Guard. I've got some Cataphracts, some Cavallerioi, some Pro-Noiaroi, and some Turkomans. Now let me explain these guys to you. Cataphracts, you all know, super heavy cavalry. In fact, they're designed to be used in melee or charging or whatever they want to do. Cavallerioi are the same. They're just slightly less heavy. Now, the Pro-Noiaroi are more like lancers. They're more like shock cavalry. You want to get them in the charge, you want to remove them, kind of like a Western knight. Or they might be the opposite. When we get into the battle, I'll confirm that. The Turkoman horse archers are basically Turkish mercenaries that the Empire fielded because their own horse archers were not as good. We've got Mortatoi. Those are just standard elite Byzantine archers. We have Peltastoi, just skirmishers basically. Kontaratoi, and of course I'm not Greek, of course, so my pronunciations are probably not perfect, but these are basically pikemen. I have two units of Skutatoi, which are the basic middle-range Byzantine unit. They're just spearmen. And finally, a unit of Varangian Guard. I have included one of every unique Greek unit in my battle formation. They also have access to some units I didn't care too much about, such as mercenary spearmen, mercenary infantry. You know, not that interested. So, I'm going to fight first against the Latin Empire. And I set up an army for them as well. I tried to make it as Latin as possible, but frankly, their unit roster leaves a little to be desired, and they have a lot of mercenaries. But I do have 3 units of Latin Knights, which are their most powerful and recognized unit. Mercenary Archers, 3 units of Militia Archers, 2 units of Greek Auxiliary Spearmen. I guess what they're doing with this faction is they're giving the majority of their middle-range troops being kind of Greek native troops that they've recruited, which I guess makes sense. Greek Guard Sergeants for melee infantry, Greek Guard Sergeants again, 2 mercenary infantries, and the mercenaries are supposed to kind of represent units that they've hired from the West that are coming in to help bolster their position, obviously, because the natives, you would assume, are a bit against them, being as they're from the West. And then 2 units of mercenary spearmen. Again, I think I've got one of every local unit. They do have Latin cataphracts. I did not include those. I just felt they were kind of anti-thematic. I mean, perhaps but I wanted this army to feel more westernized, you know, more like the Latin Empire and not just the Byzantines light. And then there's Turcopoles, which I'm not using for this particular faction. So where should we be? How about right outside Constantinople in Anthea, the grassland? There's a little river there. Neat. Alright, so it'll be the Latin Empire attacking me, the Empire of Nicaea. And if you wonder, wow, these flags look awfully the same. Yes, they do. The only difference is these little check marks on the corners. If you followed my Mountain Blade Warband Anno 1257 campaign, you will note a lot of similarities. The designers of this mod used the textures from that mod in their unit designs. So you'll notice, for example, that a lot of the helmets and armor that you see on these units match those that you could potentially purchase for your characters in the Mountain Blade mod. And also these title cards, I don't know so much about the Latins, but for the Romans, for the Byzantines, they are from, I believe, the stainless steel mod of Medieval 2 Total War. Alright, enough talking. Let's get started. They have slightly more units than I do, but mine are slightly higher quality, with the exception of the Latin Knights, which are pretty tough. And just to be fair, I was not a big fan of Rome 2 Total War. I didn't think it was very good of a game, so I'm not very good at it. So this is just to showcase the units. This is not supposed to be an amazing battle where I'm just going to be completely awesome. So please take that in mind. Alright, so first we have our Murtatois. There are archer units. They look pretty cool. Our Peltastois. There's our Peltastois, just basically armored. Very simple. Here's our Spatharoi Emperor's Guard. Now look how cool these guys are with their shields, their helmets. Of course, you recognize this helmet from Mountain Blade. Probably recognize the shields too. These are our most elite unit. I mean, the Varangians, potentially, but this is the leadership unit. And this fellow, if he's not the Emperor, he is probably a relative of the Emperor. And I would assume he is a relative because he's wearing the red and not the purple. If you recall, Marcus Aurelius in my Mountain Blade campaign wore this armor, but then upgraded to the purple. Here's our pikemen. The cool thing about them, of course, is they could use the pike formation, what the Greek pikemen do, where they stick their pikes out and form into ranks. The hoplite formation, yeah. And of course, you may recognize this hat. This was the hat I was very proud of early on in my Mountain Blade campaign. Then we have our heavy spear infantry. They've got cool, unique shields. They also look very nice. They're like the basic Byzantine unit. Okay. So these are our Cavallerioi. Alright, so I was correct. So the Cavallerioi are heavy melee cavalry. They are spear cavalry, but they can withstand melee fighting better than the Pronoiarioi, who are more shock lancer troops. This is a beautiful map, by the way. It's the first time I've seen it. Here are the Varangian Guard. I'm sure a lot of you are excited about looking at these guys. And you've got this cool guy in the purple. So maybe the developers intended you to have your command unit be Varangians because his guy is wearing the purple. But the Emperor's Guard just sounded better for the leadership position because, hello, Emperor's Guard, right? And you'll notice this cool armor. And look at this guy. Look at this guy. I mean, just imagine, you're a Greek from this time period. You're about, what, 5'2", 5'4", and you see this giant, 6-foot-tall, blonde-haired, mustachioed Viking character with a two-handed axe, a battle axe, and you're not having a good day. These guys were just very impressive, and they look so. More spear infantry, we've seen them already. And I'm sure many of you would want to see these guys. These are our cataphracts. And they did a pretty good job. I mean, granted, I don't know what a real cataphract looks like. I wasn't there. But in the books that I've read, they look very similar to this. Not sure about the shields, some of them. But in general, I think it fits. I mean, these guys obviously have done their research. The Mountain Blade guys did their research. So I think they look pretty awesome. And finally, here we go. And those are Turkomans, our light missile cavalry. But where are our Pro-Noirs? There they are. Okay, so yeah, these are our very heavy shock cavalry. So they're heavier than our Cavallerioi, but they're meant to be used to slam into the enemy and then retreat. They are not meant to be in sustained melee. And I don't know, if you can pause the screen at certain points when I'm hovering over these guys and read to the bottom left what it says about them. Everybody has a description except, sadly, the cataphracts. They have no description whatsoever, which makes me very sad, but I'll have to live with that disappointment. Okay. And one last thing, we go back to our Emperor's Guard. Their description's really cool. These soldiers are among the finest that can be fielded by the Empire, and that is small wonder when their task is guarding the Imperial family and accompanying them to glory at the forefront of battle. So that's why I made my general one of these guys, and not one of the Varangians. So let's get things set up. What I like, I guess, basically, is I like the formation. Where is it? I think it's Raphia. Except, I like to put my cavalry out further on the flanks. So basically what this is it puts the ranged units in front and the infantry units in the back, except I'm going to move the Emperor's Guard a little bit further in the back. If you lose your general, it hurts a bit. The pikes I will put on the flanks because cavalry tends to want to attack the flank, which is why I also have spears there. And typically you don't want your Varangians in the front line. You want them to be shock infantry that you send in once battle is already joined to kind of scare the enemy and tear them up. But again, I don't have much infantry in this formation, so I gotta do what I gotta do. And again, I'm not very good at this game.
The radar map allows
Okay,
an
you shut
aerial
up.
view.
I found no way to turn this guy off like permanently. You have to turn him off every single battle. So where are the Latins? And this mod hasn't yet done anything with the sound. So you'll hear like battle cries for the Spartans or Greeks. It doesn't really fit the theme, but that's okay. Let's speed up a little bit. Find out where these Latins are. I am set as the defender, so they should be coming after me. Oh, there's somebody. Okay, the Latin Knights. Very heavy shock cavalry. Take a look at them. They look pretty awesome. They're modeled after the Western Knights of the Mountain Blade mod. Anno 1257. And here they come. Alright. So there's the Latin Knights. We've got the Militia Archers. Basic Western Archers. I'm sure they look very similar to the ones fielded by France and England. We've got Greek Auxiliary Spearmen. So if you'll notice, they look similar in design to my own guys, but their heraldry is a bit different. Stripes. And it looks like their armor is a bit more westernized, too. Like you see that crazy cloth cap that a lot of Western guys wear. So there's 2 units of Greek Auxiliary Spearmen. There's the Mercenaries. They look straight up Western. Greek Guard Spearmen. Okay, same thing. So basically a combination. They did a good job. Like a combination of Western and Greek type look. Okay. So battle has been joined. Actually, it's already been joined. The Latin Knights just charged into my heavy melee cavalry, and they're losing, so that's not good. Let's actually move these guys over to this side of the battlefield. The cataphracts, they're not going to be doing that because they are slow. Heavy, but slow. And the Turkomans, let's get them in the back so they can start causing some chaos in the enemy ranks. Our cavalry are having a hard time. Oh, should I set the pike wall? Forgot to do that. Again, did I mention I'm not very good at this game? Get the Varangians into battle. Spearmen, move them up. Move them up. Yeah, 2 groups of Latin Knights. We are not having a good time. What am I doing? No. What? Get in. Yeah. Pro-Noirs. Charging the Latin Knights. Oh, this is not going to be good. They were supposed to hit him from behind. We already lost a unit of cavalry. This is not going well. Cataphracts, what are you going to do? You are going to... if I engage you in battle, I can just tell that these... actually, Spearmen, get these guys from behind. I gave them a lot more archers than I gave myself. Alright, I'll send the Cataphracts after them, but that's not really their role. Turkomans, go after militia archers, although you're not really good at that. Alright, we're doing okay on this flank, since we've flanked them. The Pro-Noir are losing as well. The Latin Knights just tearing everything up. Alright, there's the Cataphracts. Let's drive the archers into the front lines. This group of Latin Knights is reviving. I could do that too, I guess. Second wind. Does anybody... to remove any fatigue? Nah, we'll leave it for now. Alright, the Cataphracts are having their effect on the archers. Let's send them right to the infantry to kind of give us some time here. Latin Knights are just tearing us up. Oh, here we go. Very good. They're doing what they're supposed to. And the Varangians, of course, are doing what they're supposed to. Let's get after the Greek auxiliary now that these guys are running. The Latin Knights just took out our Peltists. I'm not surprised that they did this. And the Cataphracts need to come and save our poor cavalry. Actually, they can't. The Latin Knights are in the way. Our regular spearmen are here. Move them up against the mercenary archers. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. I want to keep them in battle against these guys. Let's get our archers against their archers. Those are our Turkomans. Not sure why they're way out there. We're losing decisively against Greek auxiliary spearmen. No, we're not going to do that. Flee. The Latin Knights are pursuing our archers. Pursue them. Just don't let them. Alright, most of their troops, however, are running away. The pikemen are here. I wish I could engage the... see if we can get those knights trapped. Who are these guys? Our Cataphracts. Let's go after the mercenary archers. We're kind of spread out. I don't like that. These guys have pretty good weapons for archers. They have giant maces and battle axes. There's some Latin Knights, but the Varangians are taking them on. I love that shield. The purple Eastern Roman shield. That's so cool. Might not be realistic, though. Again, purple was generally restricted to the use of the Emperor. I'm not sure if his troops or his guard were able to wear it to kind of signify that he was with them. I don't think so, because oftentimes someone putting on a purple robe or something would be the symbol that they are rebelling against the Empire. Alright, what do we got here? Oh, they're confident. Well, that's good. Who are you? Latin Knights? Oh, shit, get them. I hate how everyone gets so spread out. Cataphracts. They're not currently in battle. Well, let's go take out some knights. Oh, wait, who are they? Mercenary spearmen just running him over. Oh, well. So we're winning decisively. That's good to know. Against their Latin Knights. And here comes our Cataphracts to join in the carnage. Who's that? Those are Turkomans, right? Let's chase down the infantry. Let's take a look at the Turkomans. I don't think I showed them to you. Did I? Maybe quickly. Very cool. Very cool bows. They definitely have that Eastern look to them. And hooray! Victory for Marcus Aurelius, despite the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. You are victorious, but at what cost? Many have paid the ultimate price, yes, due to my foolishness and lack of skill. We deployed 1,156 people. We lost 680 of them. However, we killed 1,205 of the 1,750 that were deployed by the Latin Empire. So that will teach them to come after us. So I will do a couple more videos of this game, just playing against different nations. Let me show you, in fact, the nation roster, and you can perhaps, if you want, put in the comments a nation you'd like to see. I have armies built up for Venice and the Kievan Rus, since those are countries that are close to the Byzantines, or the Roman Empire of Nicaea, and the Venetians, of course, and the Latins are our worst enemies. And the Cumans are real close too, but they're tough. I think currently in this mod, for the cost, their troops are a little OP, because they're like 90% horse archers, and I put this exact same army against an equal cost army of the Cumans, and they just destroyed us. Like, killed us all, and they suffered 10% casualties, because none of my units, except for my own Turkomen, could catch up with them. And so they were just peppering us with arrows, and it was very, very ugly. Haven't tried the Mongols yet, not sure I want to. But if you want to see something completely anachronistic, but just fun, like Castile or Poland or England, let me know. I'll throw a battle together. But it's a really fun mod, and again, anything with the Byzantines is good in my book. But this won't, again, be a real series. I'll do a few videos, but that's it. Alright, so once again, I am Marcus Aurelius. For the purple, as they say. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.